Hey everyone, welcome back to the film room. We've got Landon Smith, who's a BCC member, here with us today. Hey Landon, let's get right into it. We're here on number one at BCC, and let's see what we've got. Looks like he started off with a pretty good drive down the right side, covered the bunker, which is about a 240-yard shot, really good. Just into the rough there. Landon, let me ask you a first question of the day. Where were you aiming on the first hole?
I was aiming kind of at the ridge, so like the middle
Yep.
ridge to hopefully kind of like stay on the right side. But then if I end up pushing it right, then it would still be able to
Still be okay.
be on the side of the
Okay,
flag. Yeah.
cool. Awesome. Very good. And so here you're just maybe into the rough, hit a great shot to about 20 feet or so, 15 feet it looks like. And you know what? You cozied that one up there, and you walk away with a nice, smooth, easy par right out of the gate, which, is always a good way to start the day. So here we are on number
Yeah.
two, but real fast, just for our audience. Landon, tell us a little bit about your background. What kind of handicap are you carrying right now?
Right now I'm a 6.7.
6.7. Okay.
Yeah, I grew up playing other sports like football, basketball. And so I kind of got into golf a lot later,
Okay.
mainly in probably like the last 8-ish years.
Okay.
So
Yep.
still trying to, bring that
Good.
down. But
Good. Awesome. Any severe injuries, ankles, knees, hips, anything like that?
I'm a long time ago, I tore my
Okay.
PCL in college playing
Okay.
football. And then I broke my thumb all the way in half in high school. So,
Ouch.
um, yeah.
Okay.
But other than that,
Other
nothing.
than that, we're good to go. Okay. So, all
Yeah,
right.
other than
Perfect.
that, we're
Perfect.
fine.
And nothing's hurting now. Everything's good.
Nothing now,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. So here we are on number two, 135-yard shot. Um, Looks like you hit a pretty good shot here. Um, left side of the green, which is definitely the more favorable. But with that leave, it gave you a tough two putt, I think. Kind
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
Yeah, kind of
Um,
sliding off the left side. Um,
yeah,
this is it's tricky, right? You've got that big mound there on the left side, and then where that pin was, it kind of slopes back to the left, or excuse me, that pushed it to the right. Um, and then here you
yeah, I
go.
was kind of nervous on that one,
Sure.
um, largely because of if you go too far left on that, then you end up going down on the left. So,
Exactly. Yeah. And that was just a sneaky little putt right there. Um,
right.
but all in all, what are you going to do about that one? That was a tough first putt. You just hit it up there to 2 or 3, 4 feet, and just hope that you make that next one. But that's okay.
Yeah.
On to number three. Looks like you hit a pretty good drive here.
Yeah, it was a, I mean, honestly, was trying to fade it.
Okay.
So,
Uh-huh.
uh,
Okay.
kind of just happened. Um, I think this one is the kind of like indicative, that second shot of what happens to me a lot.
Uh-huh.
Is like I'll be in an okay position and then, maybe the lie is not as
Yep.
great, but then my second shot is usually what gets me in trouble. And then I think I just caught this one too far behind and then it only went like, 25, 30
Yeah.
yards. So,
So this is as everybody knows, third hole is a long hole. Now, granted, you hit a good drive. You only had 100 and looks like 54, 55 yards back to the hole. We
right.
know you're super strong. You're in the rough. I can't see the ball, so that's telling me that the lie wasn't very good in this situation. So
Hmm.
um, my first go to is yes, if you make the perfect swing and you make great contact, no problem getting the ball there, right? But playing the odds on this one, you can take a pitching wedge, take something with more loft, and aim
Okay.
toward the right hand side away from the bunker, right?
Okay.
aiming down the right hand side, that extra little bit of loft is going to just help the club get through the rough a little bit.
Okay.
But obviously on this one, the ball was below your feet as well. So
Hmm.
really trying to keep yourself down and through the shot is the biggest thing here to try to create that better contact.
Right.
You could see where he kind of even leaned back a little bit, held back, right? You could see
Right.
on that one. But it wasn't an easy shot. So then you ended up, yeah, bunting it down there about 20 yards. So now we've got a 134-yard shot. And
Okay.
I liked that line as well. You kind of hitting more toward the right hand side of the green. Um, got it up there. That's
Yeah.
definitely the safe avenue. And here, then you're just trying to make your two putt and move on.
Right.
So here's where speed control comes into play. Definitely, speed is much more important, in my opinion, than aim. We could be 2 feet off on aim, but the speed be perfect, and we only have a 2 foot putt left, kind of thing.
Yeah. And they were rolling pretty quickly that day as well.
Yeah.
So kind of like a lot of what I was trying to just get right was the speed on
Hmm.
putts, and trying to like visualize the line more
Yep.
so.
Yep. No, that was great. So you had one bad hit on that hole, and it kind of cost you a little bit, but all in all, walking away after that one bad hit with a bogey on it, hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, and then here we are on to number 4. Um, what?
And there is something I know like I've been trying to work on like largely on the takeaway. Like I notice on my takeaway, um, it's going I think too far off plane, and then I end up coming down
Mhm.
over over the top, and so then I get misses like this.
Yeah. So you get it going. So you can see how far inside you take that club,
Hmm.
right? So
Right.
exactly, you get it coming inside. So then really your only way to get back to the ball is, yes, you're going to come right back over it. And by coming over
Hmm.
it, you're popping up out of the shot a little bit, right?
Okay.
And that leaves that club face a little bit open on you, right? So
Okay.
shoving it off. You can have the feel of keeping the club head on your takeaway a little bit more outside your hands, right? That's going
Okay.
to help with width as well. And that's going to allow you to get back into a better hitting position, right?
Right.
What club did you hit there? Do you remember? Was it like 4 or 5 iron?
Yeah. That was a
3
three.
iron. Okay.
3 iron.
Okay. Because this is definitely one of those holes playing for position, which is important,
Right.
right? So here you are, probably with that 3 iron, you may be able to still get over that tree. Um, I
Mm.
think that you hit a pretty good shot here,
You,
right?
I did. And again, like even for a miss, I think I was
Hmm.
okay. It was a little cold and windy,
Yeah.
so the it didn't necessarily get all the way
Okay.
there.
Okay. Yeah. It's sneaky, Yeah. So you hit it right there in front. Um,
Right.
This is kind of a little tricky shot, but the important thing here is trying to get your shoulders level to the ground, right? Maybe
Okay, because I actually struggle with like uphill chip shots a
yep.
lot. So
So exactly, any uphill downhill lies, trying to keep your shoulders level to the ground. So what happens on this one where it's such a severe upslope? The
hmm.
pin was about middle of the green. Because you're leveling your shoulders to the slope, the ball is going to jump up a little bit higher too. So rather than
Okay.
taking a 56 or a 60 in this case, you could take like a little gap wedge, right? Because you're adding loft.
Oh, okay.
And this way, it's not going to hit and stop right away. It'll trickle back a little bit. So therefore, you don't have to make as big of a swing on a short shot like this, right? So trying to
Got it.
minimize, some of the mistakes and with the length of a swing. So, but
Got it.
so that wasn't a bad chip. Hit it about looks like 5 or 6 feet past the hole.
Hmm. Yeah, and this is, another tricky one. I hit the putt
Yep.
that I wanted to hit. I just
Yep.
it just
just
didn't come
didn't
back
turn back.
enough.
Yeah,
So
it looked like at the beginning it wanted to try to turn back to the right a little bit, and then it just kind of straightened up on you.
right,
But you know, we sometimes we get upset because the ball didn't go in there. What you have to take from that is, you know what, you read the putt, you hit the putt where you were looking, you made a great stroke. Nothing to be upset about
right,
on, you know, I mean, sometimes they're just not going to go in,
yeah.
right?
And I'll take
Yeah,
that for sure.
definitely, definitely. So you see on that swing how far inside you were, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something there that we can definitely work on, and creating depth and keeping the club head a little bit more outside your hands on the
Yeah,
takeaway.
and that's just like pushing the hands out on the takeaway mainly.
You could feel that. Yep, yep,
Okay.
definitely. So see how far behind the hands are,
Right.
right? I would like to see your hands more over your feet in that position, right?
Okay.
So definitely, yep, yep. Just
Got it.
creating more depth. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, again, it wasn't a bad strike. Was that the 3-iron again?
It was,
Playing
yeah.
for position. Yep. Okay.
Hmm.
Good. Good. So here you are. You've got 175 yards. What club are you hitting here?
I believe this was a 6 iron that I hit here because normally it's
Yeah.
downwind, but I don't want to be like past the
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Definitely
uh,
shorter is better. Definitely on this one.
mhm.
So hit it okay, just off to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, it was a good number. And here we are with this chip shot. But you're definitely seeing a consistent pattern here where our misses are off to the right, definitely.
Right.
Um, so here we are with this chip shot. Not, I wouldn't call it anything but straightforward, because you're going to see how
Yeah.
it,
I
it was a
mean,
great shot.
I,
It,
I hit it where I wanted to
Yeah,
hit it.
yeah, no, it was really good. Any shot to
Yeah.
that front pin coming from middle of the green to behind it, and then
Yeah. And again,
yeah, yeah,
that's where I thought it was gonna move, and it just,
yep,
I didn't put it on the right line, I
yeah.
think. But
No, it's okay. This green is a little bit tricky to read as well. Again, you hit a good putt. You had 3 or 4 feet left. It's
yeah.
just it does look to me like you're up and out of the putt just a little bit early. So
Okay.
maintaining that posture, keeping the head down. Back when, I mean, Tiger Woods is obviously a phenomenal player, but what was it, his 2000, 2001 years, he never saw a 3, 4, 5 foot putt go in the hole. He said he always heard it,
Okay.
right? He always heard it. So keeping that body down, keeping that head down is important.
Yeah. Stay down
Yep.
in it.
So number 5, 3-iron again.
3 iron again, and I think my foot actually slipped on
Yeah.
this one, but like the contact felt how I wanted it.
Okay.
So
Good. Good. Yeah, it definitely looks like obviously we had a foot slip there, but up and out of the shot a little bit early, leaving it
okay.
off to the right. So here we are, we're having to play this one low, I assume.
Yeah,
Take
I
the
was
chase.
basically trying to cut it under the
Uh-huh.
tree, and that probably came a little bit too much in my
Yep.
mind.
Yep.
But then I just pulled it.
Yep. So if you notice on that one, so we know we're on a downhill lie here. Uh, you
Hmm.
notice how in your setup how much lower your trail shoulder is, right? So we
Okay.
would want to try to, again, just like on number 4, evening up your shoulders parallel to the slope,
Okay.
right? So in this case, it might even feel like you have more weight on your forward side. So
Okay.
with that downhill slope, just knowing in the back of your mind, I forget how far the shot was, but let's say you had 170 yards, and your 7-iron, your 6-iron goes 170, but because of the downhill slope, we want a little bit more aloft. The ball naturally is going to come off lower, so you can go with
Hmm.
that 7-iron, let's say, and we know it's all downhill, right? So keeping that.
Yeah, I believe I was hitting in an 8
8
here
iron.
because it
Okay.
was like 160
Oh, okay.
something
So it was
adjusted.
much closer then. Yeah. So just
Yeah.
knowing in the back of your mind, downhill slope, we're leveling out those shoulders, the ball is definitely going to come off lower than expected than your natural ball flight. So keeping it under
Okay.
the tree there is going to be much easier than what you think, right? That's
Okay.
always something good to keep in the mind. So, but you could see how you came over that one a little bit too, right? And
Right.
that grass just,
Like over the
yep,
top.
yep, exactly. Here we are with that chip shot going back.
Yeah, it flew a bit more
Yeah,
than I actually expected
yeah,
it, which
yeah, and that happens. You caught it clean. Sometimes it's hard to judge the ball coming out of the rough, right?
yeah.
Just don't know how the ball is going to react. And then we've got a chip shot coming back. It's super. The greens were
Yeah, it was just
definitely
it
rolling.
was rolling, but it also just like they were really running
Yeah,
away a lot.
yeah. So
So,
here we are. We've seen a handful of close misses from 6, 4, 5, 6 feet. I
right,
always like to think of it as we're amateurs. This isn't our day job. You're
right.
a 6 index. You're a great player. I always revert back to statistics and PGA Tour statistics because they are the best players out there. That is their day job. But keep in mind, an 8 foot putt on tour, they tend to only make an average of about 50%, or excuse me, 8 foot putt on tour average 50% make. So, when we
Right.
go through a round and we're only on the sixth or seventh hole, and we've already missed, two or three short ones, you know what? Yeah, it's upsetting at times, but nothing we could do about it now. You hit great putts. We got
Right.
to get to the next hole and try to make a nice one,
Right.
right?
Just try to get
Yeah,
past it.
exactly. So number 7, short par 4, gettable, tough green. Are we hitting driver here?
Yeah, driver, this is actually like my preferred pin position on
Okay,
here, so I was trying to go after this one.
nice. Was the pin back left?
Yeah, it was the one that's like back left, like right behind the
Okay.
mound, the
Yep.
ridge there.
Yep. So, the thing is, this is your favorite pin.
Hmm.
It's your driver. The confidence is running high, even though we've, not been on our A game, let's call it. But I love
Right.
it that you got up there, you hit a great shot. You hit it to, looks like about 15 feet or so. And you've got
Yeah.
the eagle look, right? After coming off of a
Right.
couple, little short mistakes. But, a great T-ball. I mean, this is the way to get back into the game, right? Especially when we're
Yeah.
not performing.
And, and I definitely thought I was swinging
Uh-huh.
okay, right? So I think overall I felt like I was playing all right, just like putts weren't
Yeah.
dropping or so.
Exactly. Yeah, you've been hitting solid shots, definitely.
Yeah.
So this putt, I think he cozied this one up there. Um,
I did. I didn't. Again, they were
yeah,
fast, and I know this one. Like, if it goes anywhere past the hole, it's running all the way
done.
away.
Yeah,
So I was basically like, we can get this close, and then
yeah.
we'll take a
Yeah,
birdie.
exactly. Two putt. We're taking two putt birdies all day long. I
Yeah,
love
all
it.
day.
I love it. No, that's a great birdie. And you know what? You make a birdie here, and now we're walking to the eighth hole, and which is a par five, another gettable par five, right? So the key here
Right.
is getting the ball in play, right?
Yep.
And then this tee ball looks like you smashed it.
Yeah, I got a hold of
Yeah,
that one pretty
yeah.
well, I think.
No, that was great.
um,
So
and
just off to the right hand side of the fairway, it looks, which is the
right.
perfect place to miss it. Um, you've got
And
130.
this shot is always the
Uh-huh.
one that gets me on this
Okay.
hole. Because it's slightly above the
Yep.
feet, and I think it's going to go left, and I always, not always, but like I would say 75% of the time I end up like pushing it right.
Yep.
So it's always really confusing.
Yeah. So we've got 130, 140 yards. So yes, the ball above your feet. So typically, the miss is going to be to the left, right? Because what
Mm,
happens is that heel typically will come in, catch the grass first, especially out of the rough, shut the face down, and the ball goes left, right? Um, with your current swing right now, think of it this way: you're dragging that club back inside a little bit. We're
mm,
aimed down the right side too, preventing, because we know if we miss it left, we're done, right? So
right.
with your current swing, you're pulling that club back inside a little bit. And now when we're bringing that club back down to the ball, we're coming from the outside. So what
Okay.
can tend to happen is now you're coming from the outside, swinging outside in, and that toe is going to hit the grass first a little bit, which is now going to open
Okay.
the club face up, right? So
Right.
with your swing, the where you're going right now, you're back. And actually, that after seeing that swing, it looks like you were pretty good actually. But at contact, see how your hands are a little bit higher, right? So hands higher, that toe
Okay.
gets down a little bit. Maybe that club face opened up a little and shoved it off to the right.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. It's. I mean,
All right.
it wasn't a bad shot. I think that staying down and through it. So what I would look at next time you have time and trying to hit some of those shots is practicing, feeling as if you're, ball's a little bit above your feet. You can feel like you're going to choke down a little bit on the club because the ball is closer to you, right? But then just
Okay.
maintaining your posture down through that contact
Okay.
is, and then swinging to your target, right? Because here the aim wasn't terrible. It looks like it was probably down the right side of the green.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you just kind of came up out of it a little bit, left the club face open. Um,
Okay.
yeah, no, but again, you missed it in the right spot, right of the green. Left is done. Um,
Well, I mean, this one, I think with this pin, the pin being like right in between the
yeah,
mounds, it's
yeah,
a
it was
tough
hard.
place to miss.
Yeah, yeah. Where that pin is, and knowing that this green runs front to back, maybe taking a little bit less club, right?
Mm,
And aiming for the front of the green, knowing coming out of the rough the ball is going to
mm,
release back. And therefore, if
okay.
you hit the right number, which in that case you did, now you're not stuck in between those two mountains and making it a more difficult chip shot, right?
Right.
Definitely. So here you are chipping back at it.
And the first chip actually, I think, hit where I wanted to hit, and then it
Uh-huh.
just
Just
like
shot. Did it
released, like yeah, it just shot
did
out.
it hit the
So
downslope? Yeah.
it did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the hard part. And knowing, where you were with that chip shot, if it was, how do coming out of the rough, how are you going to stop the ball the quickest, right? Maybe not
Hmm.
landing it short of the hole and trying to land it on the downslope, but possibly, and I know the greens were a little bit faster, but just because, yes, we're trying to knock it in the hole, but doesn't mean that we always have to aim right at the hole either, right? So maybe
Okay.
playing a little bit longer past the hole, so hitting the ball, flying the ball into the upslope, right, to make it
Okay.
stop quicker. Or if we think that we're going to have a problem like keeping the ball on the green, aim to the right or to the left of the pin where there's maybe a little bit more room on the putting green. So at least we get it on putting green and we now have a chance to save a par, right? There's
Yeah, that
always
makes
just
sense.
different ways to kind of look at it, definitely. But we hit a good drive, a decent second shot, and it was more around the green where the strokes started to add up quick. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
for sure.
So on to number 9. looked like you hit a pretty good drive there.
Hmm.
Um,
It
hit it over.
kind of got, yeah, like right
There.
above.
This one's hard. This what? So 115 yards left. What club did you hit here?
I believe it was I hit a pitching
Okay.
wedge because I wanted to make sure it got up
Yep.
kind of over that
Yep.
mound,
No. Good.
um, and especially out of the rough.
Yeah. Exactly. These shots are definitely tough. Taking a little bit extra club for you, maybe that pitching wedge, but still being able to
Hmm.
hit down and through it is the important thing here. Um,
Okay.
Creating that speed to get through the rough, and it looks like you did it there, which
Yeah,
was good. Yeah, you hit a really good shot.
hit a pretty good one
Yep,
there.
yep. So here you are. You've got 25 feet left for a birdie, um, and I think you rolled this one up pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think putting is the kind of place that I see strokes either like gaining or missing the
Yep.
most. I felt like contact wise, I always feel a little more confident that I can get it somewhere around or close to the hole,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
putting is definitely the area that I tend to see strokes add up more.
Yeah. I took a couple stats from your scorecard today, and yeah, you're spot on, right? You had looks like 19 putts in 9 holes, so if we could get those putts down to 30, 31, 32 at the most, I mean,
Hmm.
that's or 15, 16 putts for 9 holes. I mean, there you go. You're
Right,
dropping, 3, 4 strokes in itself and down around 38 rather than a 30 or 42. Um,
right,
you know, that was definitely one thing that I noticed. You hit, 3 out of 8 fairways. You only hit 3 out of 9 greens in regulation as well, right? So, yes, you were striking the ball well, um, but there was definitely a common theme here in that your misses were all to the right.
right.
So, one thing that I would say is let's check alignment too.
Okay,
Especially if you feel like you're striking the ball well, or pretty solid. And sometimes we could be striking the ball well and it not going where we want it to, but it's simply just alignment or
okay,
contact or keeping that club face a little bit open. Those are things that I definitely watch. Um,
okay.
Short game
Yeah,
chipping, right? I don't think that we got any chips or up and down for par or to save par in those 9 holes, and we had looks like 4 or 5 different opportunities to do that. Um, that
right.
too brings down the score as well. Um, but it definitely in course strategies, right?
Right.
I think for you, you're a super smart player. For instance, number one, playing, toward the middle, knowing if I leak it off to the right, I'm still okay. That was
Hmm.
a great hole, but in that strategy, maybe playing a little bit further left, so your shot into the green is more of a line toward the flag.
Oh,
Um,
got it.
right, little things like that just opens up the green a little bit better for you. Um,
Okay.
you played well and you struck the ball well here in this round. Didn't putt great, but you know what? You still held it together with a 42, which isn't a bad score.
Yeah,
On a day when the greens are
and
rolling.
I think even on the like continuing on the back,
Hmm.
I think I shot like 38 or
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah,
So like
yeah,
it felt good
right,
overall.
right.
But I definitely the opportunities to score. I've been like three of those putts felt like very makeable
Yeah,
putts and
and
just,
yeah,
didn't make them.
and
So,
and the thing is, they were, yes, they were makeable, but the thing that I love is that you hit them where you were looking. right? That's a
Right.
big part of the game is knowing, okay, I see where I want the ball to go. I hit the ball where I was looking. Now it becomes, well, how about some green rating strategies, right? How do
Yeah.
we figure out how to get the ball in the hole a little bit more often, kind of thing. So um,
Yep.
definitely something to look at. Yeah. But you know what, man?
Okay.
You did really well. You hit a lot of great shots. That drive on number 7 was awesome. And
Thanks.
you've got nowheres to go but up. I'm telling you, you've got game.
That's
Your athleticism
that's
really kicks in, so it's awesome to watch you play.
awesome. Well, thanks. I'm gonna definitely try to work on like keeping my hands out,
Yep.
and I'll um try to keep my misses a little bit
Yeah.
more online.
Yeah.
So,
Next time you're around the golf shop, pop on in, and I'll show you a little drill.
all right, right
All
on.
right. Thanks, Landon.
All right, thanks,
Bye.
Dave.